don't get into a lot of world issues and world politics a lot. It's not every day we discuss the Ukraine war, but when things ramp up to a certain level, I think it's at least worth having the conversation. Would you agree, Gaydos?
I would, and what's happening with Israel, we've had that conversation as well.
We've had an escalation, if you will. Just the other day, President Biden gave the go-ahead for Ukraine to use missiles, long-range missiles that we had given them to strike targets inside Russia. They were using them against Russian units inside Ukraine. Mm-hmm. We said you can fire them outside your borders. They waited 30 seconds and launched them. So U.S. missiles fired by Ukraine forces struck deep into Russian territory, and Vladimir Putin has come back out and reminded people that they consider that an act of war by the United States and could potentially retaliate using nuclear weapons. How's that?
Not good.
No, nothing in that was good.
Nope.
I agree.
Nope. Why don't we find out more about this? Okay. Joining us now is military analyst Mike Lyons, retired U.S. Army major. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, guys. Great to be back with you. Thanks for having me.
How serious should we take Putin's threats?
Well, can I say something? We only talk to him when the world's about come to an end. Do you realize
that? Right?
That
is true, Mike.
But we never call him up, just go, hey, how's your day going? Everything's cool, right?
We're not going to call and ask how his day's going. We're going to say, hey, World War III,
we call you when Putin's threatening to nuke us.
Jeez.
Right.
How serious should we take it?
Yeah, okay. So he's very good at terrorizing the West with these kind of threats from a nuclear weapon, but it's not in his interest to fire a nuclear weapon into Ukraine. Nuclear weapons are best in the defense. So when I was in Germany in the 1980s, when we were defending along the Fulda Gap and we thought the Great Russian Horde was going to start World War III, then we had nuclear weapons in our units, and they were used as we were retreating back to these die-in-place positions that were three levels back behind us. But it doesn't make sense to use a nuclear weapon in the offense. What they're trying to do to take over Ukraine. They want to swallow Ukraine whole. They want the resources there. They want to take over the factories and the fields, and they want to use it as their own. And they won't be able to do that if they decide to nuke Ukraine. So so it doesn't kind of make sense, even a tactical nuke. So I think that's a little bit of bluster. But however, what Russia is bringing to the table are more people, and that's what's really going to hurt the Ukraine military more. The 10,000 North Korean soldiers. I mean, who had North Korea as a mercenary army for the Russians in 2024 on your bingo card out there right now? That's just right. I mean, that's just amazing to think about. And so that's a bigger threat to Ukraine right now is that extra manpower as they try to eject Ukraine. Russia tries to eject Ukraine from that Kursk region that they currently have occupied for the last 3 months.
Again, we're talking to our military analyst, Mike Lyons, and I'm just so glad you're with us because I've tried to understand this. And, the Ukraine war has been going on for so long now. I know it's devastating on both sides. It depends on who you ask to. Some people go, Ukraine can never win. Other people like, Russia's getting absolutely butt kicked sideways. What does victory look like for either side in this, though? It seems to be at a stalemate, and why would it change?
Yeah, that's right. And neither side is able to use its military to accomplish its strategic objectives. Ukraine would like to eject Russia from the 20% of its landmass that it's currently been sitting in since 2014 and the Crimean Peninsula, and they would like to have that land back. Russia would like to take over completely and swallow up Ukraine, eject the government, and take over Ukraine as a country and make it a vassal state of Russia. So the militaries on either side are incapable of accomplishing that objective. So what does victory look like? If the United States and NATO countries stop supporting Ukraine, then it would be over because Russia has 4 times the military capability, 10 times the people. They have much more capability in order to use the military to accomplish its objectives. But from the other side, but Russia has also proved itself inept. It doesn't fight modern warfare. It doesn't synchronize its fires. It can't bring things together. It's lost ships to a country that doesn't even have a navy.
Yeah,
and
they
so
have a paper tiger, right?
They have drones. They blow up the big ships with drones.
Right, and what drone warfare has done. So it's become a little bit of course, an experimental lab with regard to weapon systems. But it's been World War I. It's been trench warfare that has been decided with artillery rounds on both sides and going nowhere fast. So what does victory look like? Again, a guy like Donald Trump is going to try to come in and do a deal to get them to at least stop the killing. But I just don't know how he does this deal because Russia deep down knows it has more capability and more ability to prolong the war if it wants to. And it doesn't look like the United States or NATO countries have any appetite to help Ukraine much longer.
Again, he's retired U.S. Army Major and military analyst Mike Lyons. So along those lines, and you said it, and I understand it, Russia has 10 times the people and resources. Well, then why are they calling the North Koreans to come in and help? That looks like a sign of weakness.
Well, no, it is on a lot of levels. Lack of confidence on the tactical side, and the technology that's been deployed from the West to Ukraine has been a combat multiplier in ways that we hadn't seen before on the battlefield. And so you add that up with drone warfare and all the things that go, that they just need more people. And in the old days, you were able to attack in ratios of 3-to-1, 4-to-1. If you had those kind of numbers on your side, you were likely going to be successful against even a dug-in enemy. But now we're seeing those ratios 6, 7, 8-to-1 because of the way that Ukraine has been able to use technology, plus significant advantages the United States provides Ukraine when it comes to intelligence, battle damage assessments, and the like. So you add that all together, Russia is still fighting an old school war against an opponent that has new school technology and is maximizing the use of it.
Mike Lyons, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Mike Lyons, a military analyst, retired U.S. Army Ranger. We go to him on all military and war stuff.
We should call him one day when the world isn't on fire. Just,
nothing
hey,
to talk
Mike,
about
what's going on? He's like, nothing. Everything's cool.
The biggest question is, when Trump gets in, what's the off-ramp he's going to offer Putin? And will he take it? I don't know.
Yeah, Putin is not leaving Ukraine. He's not.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. And Ukraine won't stop fighting as long as Russians are in Ukraine.
Donald Trump is going to be there to make a deal. Can he do it? We'll see.
Thanks for watching Outspoken with Bruce and Gaydos. Tap to watch more from KTAR News and click the button in the middle to subscribe.